Why no sound? There we go. Okay, it works. It works. And I am live. Boom. Boom. And the last one I don't have a keybind for. So... click, I guess. But T. Cornflakes. Good game. Haven't got alive. Or so. Nah.
Last time was bad enough. You best got it all out of your system.
Yeah, well. Let's get some
Don't
ammunition.
grease up the pages, though. Listen, you won't take all day, will you?
Now this should be fun.
Right. I think I shouldn't have
Damn way.
any bounties on me. I don't quite remember, so let's check that.
Hello again, sir.
Hey, bounty!
Now, have we?
It's 0. Snake eyes.
Farewell.
Alright. Trains we're good. Grace. Or is not? Oh, there we go. Lenny needs to speak to you. Let me check out Grace first, honestly. So there's that.
That son of a bitch can kiss a grizzly's ass for all I care. How's about that?
There's the bank.
Hello there.
Morning to you.
Haven't you caused enough grief?
You don't have to worry about me. Just relax now.
So long.
Okay there?
Morning.
I have to check this out. Oh, it's actually my first save. Damn.
No horseplay, you understand?
Can't rob the motherfucker. Probably been up the fence already.
Welcome back, sir. Take a look. Any questions, feel free not to ask. Okay. Better not be stolen, all right? Good day.
Thank you.
Hey, welcome back. Sure, let me see. Thanks. Let's move. Well, I never. Hey there. Hey, move it! Yeah. What do you want? This here the Gray Plantation?
Yep, Gallagher Hall. And that's as close as you're getting to.
Sheriff's orders. You wanted me to have a word with some folk on the property. I'm recently deputized, you see.
Deputized? And I suppose Lee was drunk when he did it? Look, you can come in, but you ain't talking to me.
Obliged.
Easy now. What are you waiting for? The sheriff?
It's all right. won't take long. Hey, I was hoping you'd talk a moment. I'm a student of the history of the region, and,
I ain't the one to speak to. Try Master Bo. Think he's down there by the wood store. Boy's got all the time in the world.
Morning to you. Busy day? Well, keep at it. Yeah.
If this weather got any finer, they could put it in a picture. All right, gonna get back to it.
See you around.
Huh. I'll see you at the sheriff's office.
Excuse me, friend.
We friends?
Not yet, but he is hoping.
I guess.
We don't get a lot of traveling men here, and suddenly there's a whole phalanx of mysterious but strangely helpful Yankees about the place.
Is there?
What are you doing here?
I was just looking for work.
Well, looking for something. Don't worry, your secret's safe with me.
What secret?
I got a secret of my own.
Are you secretly normal?
Excuse me?
Never mind.
The thing is, I don't care if you kill the whole lot of us and the Braithwaites.
I don't want to kill anyone.
I love her, you know.
Love who?
Penelope. But it's impossible.
Well, love tends to be
Oh,
complicated.
Romeo and Juliet.
She's a Braithwaite. I'm Bo Gray, son of Tavis
Shocking.
Gray, nephew of Lee Gray,
Impossible to
sheriff,
predict.
grandson of old Murdo Gray. We Grays have been loyal to the state and murderous to the Braithwaites for so long now, no one can even quite explain why. Beyond blind loyalty and stupidity, I'm supposed to be loyal to some nonsense while she's amazing. She's like a woman from the future. She's like tomorrow, if tomorrow turns out fine.
Well, I'm sorry for your predicament.
Would you help?
I don't want to get involved in gang feuds. Seems unseemly.
I'll pay. I've got money. We
How
Grays,
much?
We've always got money. No brains, mind, but money.
Well, in that case,
I know she loves to sit out in the gazebo on the edge of the Braithwaite property. Take her this letter and this bracelet, please.
Oh, look out for their guards. They're worse with strangers than ours are.
Alright.
So long, and good luck. do me this kindness, sir, I shall not forget it.
I'm not following you, you retard. I'm ahead of you.
Hey, you better follow that order, right? Yeah. Hey, mister.
Oh, that's cotton. I guess they had slaves. I think they said something about that last time I played.
Hey there, partner.
Sneaky bricky. Oh, there's a gazebo. Apparently it's not this one. Oh. Probably this or this, right? Maybe that's a tent? No, that looks like a gazebo. What the fuck is that?
Are you Penelope Braithwaite?
Why, yes, I am.
I've got a letter for you.
Oh.
And a gift.
A letter and a gift. Well, we don't even know each other.
Well, it's not from me. It's from,
From Bo. Oh, he is so...
Strange?
Yes, he's a little strange, but also so human. The rest of our families are stuck in the Dark Ages, or... Well, I don't know. cave
Good
people,
old-fashioned
perhaps.
blood feud.
Bo's different. But if they find out,
Live
they'll
chat.
kill him and send me to live someplace awful like Ohio. Have you ever been to Ohio?
Oh
Well,
shit!
neither have I, but my uncle has a factory there. He was sort of the
Just
black sheep,
smoking Ohio.
kind of having left. But now they tolerate him because he's a vicious snob. Families are there's something else. You got a family, sir?
No, not really.
Well, they tolerate him because of the money. But me, with my ideas above my station, they can't stand.
That sounds pretty complicated. I don't know quite what to say.
Well, nothing to say except I hope they all rot. I don't,
Okay.
well, maybe a bit. But here, if you see Bo again, will you give this to him?
Sure.
I became a fucking mailman. Ah, nothing left. Alright, let's go.
Yep.
This is it.
Come on. Oh, now. Shh. There's a girl. Move!
Same goes for you, sons of bitches!
Another damn gray in the sky. Just let people trespass on our property, especially the Braithwaites.
Settle down.
Stay away from me. Come on, let's get out of here.
Nice. It was a good cause.
You know me, I'm on official business for the family.
All right, come on.
Howdy.
Hey.
You got my money?
Sure. Did she give anything? For me?
Yes.
Might I have it?
Sure. But it'll cost you. I can't be bothered. Here, take it.
Thank you, Arthur. You'll... Thank you. My God. What a woman. She's... This'll get her killed for sure.
What?
Women's suffrage. Around here, they don't even like men voting. They'd bring back the monarchy given half the chance. Progress is a dirty word in these parts. Unlike incest.
Excuse me?
I don't want to marry my cousin Matilda. I want to marry Penelope. But they're gonna... They'll kill her at one of those rallies they're holding. They've done it before. Mister, you gotta help.
No, I'm afraid I don't want no part of it.
I'll pay. My family, we've still got some money.
Fine. Just no more running around with letters.
Thank you. Come on. We better get going.
Mount up, all right, and follow me to Rhodes. Come on, come on! Yeah! We'll go around the property and take the road to town.
Easy, boy. Calm down.
I can't be calm. If we don't get there in time, my true love may be shot.
If she wants to rally, you gotta let her rally.
Well, good as the cause is, I can't let her become a martyr to it. I want to marry a flesh and blood woman, not a statue in her honor.
I'm sure they know what they're doing.
There they are.
Oh my God.
Bo, what are you doing here?
I cannot let you go through with this. You'll be killed.
I'm prepared to die for the cause, Bo. You know that.
Do something, please.
Do what? Fight this mob? They need me alive.
This is no laughing matter, sir. They need protecting from certain elements. Mostly my family. Penelope, I beg you.
I'll tell you what. Your friend here can drive the wagon for us. It'll allow us to shout all the louder. Hooray!
Sure.
Miss Calhoun. Miss Calhoun.
So that's how
My friend here
stupidity
says he can
started.
drive the wagon.
Well, Olive Calhoun. Normally I like to drive myself, but today I feel like a man joining us sends the right message.
Well,
Yeah,
I
it's
ain't
all
never
about the
been
fucking
in a
message.
protest march before,
Fuck
madam.
me.
Well, just treat us like the sheep, and the folks attacking
Truth
us
doesn't
like the
fucking
wolves,
matter.
and I'm
Nothing
sure
fucking
you'll feel
matters
right at
nowadays. It's
home.
all about the
Shall we
fucking
go?
message. Just bend
All right,
reality to
ladies.
fit the message.
We know our song is a good one, and we know our
Yeah,
cause is a
fuck
pure
off.
one.
Yes, ma'am.
Let liberty
Ain't nothing
reign.
pure about it. Bullshit is what it is. Okay, let's see how fast they can walk.
Take us down Main Street, right through town to the steps of the
Nah, they don't allow me to speed up too much.
What was your name?
Arthur Morgan.
Very good, Mr. Morgan. Not too quick and not too slow. We need them to hear our voice.
Well, they'll hear it all right.
Very good, very good.
Hopefully get as many killed as
Are you
possible.
an old friend of the movement?
I'm just a driver, Mrs. Calhoun. Maybe a shotgun messenger if it comes to it. I hope it won't.
Well, our message will be delivered peaceably, Mr. Morgan. You can keep your shotgun to yourself. Stay on Main Street. It's a left up here, Mr. Morgan. Look at these people. It's about to get exciting. I can feel it.
It's literally a pastime for a rich white woman.
Good day, Sheriff. I trust you'll make sure it's a peaceful assembly. Oh, do give it a rest, you sorry fool. Mr. Morgan, I give you the male of the species.
That's a pretty dumb specimen, I grant it.
A little further, please. Stop just past the bank. This spot is fine, sir. Ladies?
That's not past the bank, literally in front of it.
Go home! Shut your mouth! What the hell is going on here? Oh my God! Go shit! And cause all this trouble. You don't even know what to get.
Yeah, we are one slogan doesn't really work out over time now, did it? There's more in fighting in that fucking movement than outside of it.
All of us. For today is the day we begin to live as equals. Yes, equal, sir. Fair and equal.
This is unnatural. This is nonsense.
Fair, equal, and free, just as the founding fathers intended.
Founding fathers, not founding mothers, you silly old goat.
That's such a stupid argument.
Philosophy dependent on biology.
What the hell you doing here, boy?
Keep your voice down. I'm trying to listen to the speech.
Hello, darling cousin. Don't you ever speak to me like that. What are you doing here? Listening, I suppose.
Go help Bo. His cousin is a moron. Stop them from ruining the speech.
You need to learn yourself some manners, cousin. Haven't you got anything better to do? Oh, you always was
Bo,
a cocky little...
weren't we just leaving?
Who the hell is this?
Follow me.
What? You'll hit me?
Come on.
Sir, can you not see how idiotic you are?
Come on, Bo. Let's go. Quick now.
We are all Americans.
We gotta go before they think twice. Oh, Lord. Follow me. I know a place. It's an old battlefield no one goes to.
Look at the beautiful lands we have built.
You don't want to go back and hear the speeches? I ain't voted before, but kind of getting hot for voting rights.
I don't know whether to take you seriously, Mr. Morgan. My cousins are my primary concern right now. If everyone knows about Penelope and me...
Everyone knows about Penelope and you. I know about Penelope and you, and I've been here all of 10 minutes. Sooner it's out, sooner it's resolved.
The sooner it's dealt with, you mean? We're dealt with. Our families, the Grays and the Braithwaites,
We bury our secrets, and we bury them deep.
Your secrets and your treasure.
You know, Catherine Braithwaite's got a daughter. No one's seen her in years. She weren't right, you know, and Penelope said...
I ain't heard about daughters. I heard about gold.
Well, Yankee gold? I fear that's just a story, Mr. Morgan. But I don't know.
This is awful.
Nobody died. Ain't that awful?
My cousins are vindictive bastards. My brothers are vindictive bastards. My cousins are worse.
They started it.
I know, but
You should leave.
I will. As soon as I have enough money. When my family... We have money, but I don't.
Is your family very rich?
Yes. Well, I believe so. But, they keep me out of the discussions. I have more of a... artistic temperament, so...
Oh, is that what they call it?
Yes. Oh, you made a joke. I really love her. I do.
Well, stick around. Maybe you can die for her as well.
I thought you were trying to make me feel better.
Look, I gotta go.
Me too. Oh, damn! I'm gonna be late. My uncle is quite as bad as you would imagine. Here, your payment. Thank you. Excuse me.
How much? How much money? $30. Not bad. Could have been better, but I barely did anything. No risk, and it's legal, which always pays less.
There you go.
What the hell was that? Ah, because I can't use... No, I can use weapons here. I'm outside of the zone.
Yep.
That's fucked up. That's the one.
Come here. Come on now.
Poor. Fuck.
Someone's coming. Hey, I see you there. Turn on your heels, son. You stick around much longer.
Y'all just so angry.
Who in the fuck is that? That's a fucking chupacabra. That's pretty loud. Where the hell did that come from? I think it's there, but like so far away, why would it be so loud?
You alright?
Yeah, I like this spot. It's a shame we never robbed that bank in Valentine, though.
Yeah. Is it her?
How long are you gonna keep up this lawman disguise?
Mary Beth? Hang in there. We'll be back on track soon.
I'm fine, Arthur. Don't worry about me.
I know it's been a bad run.
Sure thing.
Arthur,
Yes, kid.
you got a lot on?
Just hunting for all this hillbilly gold that Dutch and Hosea seem to think is out there just waiting to be stolen. Why?
I got something. Could be good.
Yeah?
Yeah, I was in Rhodes talking to some of the colored folk. They said there's a gang of fools holed up in the swamps east of here who think their war ain't never ended.
The Civil War?
Yeah, apparently it's still raging in these fools' minds 30 years later.
Okay.
That ain't my point. These ignorant fools are weapon dealers. And in their dealings sometimes sit on a decent pile of cash. Yeah, been selling weapons to Cuba and South America for years. Anyway, the old boy I was talking to reckoned there might be a bunch of cash just sitting around. And failing that, maybe a nice stash of weapons.
With just a bunch of crazies, Gardner?
Exactly.
Well, worth taking a look at least, isn't it?
That was my thinking. Said it was at some place called Shady Bear, deep in the woods.
Okay.
All right then, let's go rob some fools.
You think you can make this place work?
Of course. Don't I always?
So, how is everything?
Ah, fuck. Not allowed to.
Come on, it's this way. On me.
You know, I might have met these crazies before.
You been drinking again?
No. Well, yes, but no, that's not how I might have met them. I think some of them harangued me and Sadie when we were coming back with supplies.
Mrs. Adler.
Yeah. And Mrs. Adler did just fine. More than fine, actually. She's terrified. But I got a notion these fellers is one and the same.
Yeah, we won't find no shortage of angry Peckerwood idiots in the state of Lemoyne. That's for sure.
Is it really that different in this state? We haven't come far.
It seems like it is.
These boys got a manner about them, but I haven't necessarily noticed.
All respect, Mr. Morgan. You wouldn't notice. Might call you a nigger lover. They see us riding like this. But most of it is a glance or a word. And after that, a visit in the night.
Well, out west, it's...
Out west is out west. And you're all who you are. Right? Decent folks. But some places down here, they judge differently.
Well, now, guess it can't be so easy for you, Lenny. Sorry you're caught up in this.
Well, I guess their gold's still shining, and their guns still shoot. So I'm game for robbing any and every one of these bastards for all they got.
Okay, then.
Plus, it beats being lynched back in Blackwater with all of you by my side.
I guess it does.
Hey, easy. Look out!
Hi.
Feels like we're close. It's a rundown old plantation house down in the bayou somewhere.
Let's take it slow. Be cautious. If, like you say, these crazies are sitting on weapons, we're gonna wanna strategize a little before getting shot at.
Of course. They said find the old battlefield and keep on going.
Yeah, I've been here before. I can see the wrecked old Civil War weaponry. Where are the wrecked old Civil War holdouts?
See that church up ahead? They're supposed to use it as an outpost. Heard they got men going between here and the big house all day.
Okay.
Big house.
Look at this field. Imagine getting caught up in a fight like this.
Yeah, I don't care to. Hold those reins in. Let's just take a look around the place.
I hear you. It doesn't look like anyone's here.
We don't know that for sure. Let's have us a nosy.
Hear that? Someone's on the track.
Seriously?
Look
Now?
A wagon.
Let's see where he's going. You're on me now.
Right behind you.
Let's keep our distance. Just two fellers out on the road.
Those crates in the back. They look like explosives to you?
Could be. Worth a follow, at least.
Ain't he gonna ask questions if we get any closer? I think I see something. End of the avenue, between the trees.
Might be it. Might be. Keep it steady.
Hey, big plantation house. Must be Shady Belle. I reckon we can leave our mounts up there, off the trail.
Good enough to me.
Are we doing this? Come on. We can get a view on them from that wall up there. Bring your sighted rifle, okay? I'll take the other side. You get in cover there.
We're here for your guns and your money. Give them up.
You going in already?
Couldn't see shit. Checkpoint. Couldn't see shit. Where is my heart? Ah, we go.
Come on.
It's not Cowboy Harbor, it's the only one I've got.
Make sure you bring your sharpshooter. I'll take the other side. You get in cover there. What you see through your scope?
Just a moment.
I'll wait on your set.
I know dynamite crates when I see them.
We got something, right?
Oh, we got something. We can hit them head on, fight them honest. Or you could go down there acting friendly.
Friendly? With these folks?
Just draw them into one spot, then I'll start shooting.
Well, that might be the dumbest idea I've ever heard. But hey, I'm always up for a performance. Just give the word. So?
Going in, kid. Give them both barrels of charm.
Wouldn't try anything less. Today is a fine and fabulous day, as all days, and so may it be. Praise be, my people. What do you want? Praise be, my people. Praise be. Now, I come in peace to discuss the merit of glory and interest you in eternity. Praise be, my people.
Just a moment longer.
Are you?
No.
What? Why he dead? What's up with that?
Going in, kid. Give them both barrels of charm.
I have to wait longer or some shit like
Wouldn't
that.
try anything less. Today is a fine and fabulous day, as all days, and so may it be. Praise be. What do you want? Praise be, my people. Praise be. Now, I come in peace to discuss the merit of glory and interest you in eternity. Praise be, my people.
Just a moment longer.
Are you? Have you? Will you be saved, my brother? Praise be. Huh? Praise be.
I want you out of here now, boy.
Hey, praise be, my people. Praise be.
I said, get out of here.
Praise be. For a great miracle shall strike you down, my family.
Get out of here, you darky.
I said, a miracle shall strike you down.
Oh, for fuck's sake. I missed. Oh shit, his head's gone. Blown off. Moved last second.
Quick! Any men in the area would have heard that. They might be on the way. Now let's grab something and get out.
Sounds like a plan.
You got anything?
Not yet.
What you got, Arthur?
Just bodies so far. I'll tell you when that changes.
This one looks good. Search it.
Getting all of it.
I think we should search the crates, Arthur.
I think I should loot all the bodies first. Because I probably have no opportunity to do that later. I'm gonna do that now. Just in case.
is full of new rifles.
We can sell those, right?
We sure can. We'll check the rest later. Now, come on. Let's go.
Let's go, let's go. Get this back to camp. Yep. Easy. You want me to drive off them? Go, go! Let's haul! Come on. Gee up. Fall in. Crack that whip.
Roger. Coming our way. Keep it together here.
Hey! Stop! What's a black feller doing coming out of Shady Belle? In one of our wagons? Hey!
Leonard.
I'm looking, all right? I can't see anyone chasing us.
I should think we're out of the woods then, so to speak.
Boy, oh boy.
You did good.
We did it.
Well, let's get to camp before saying anything like that.
I know Sean's been bringing in quite a lot lately, and I wanted to... It's good to have something to show like this.
Sean's a loudmouth bragger. Don't worry about what Sean does.
Hey, I like him, you know?
Well, so do I. Against my better judgment. Just, you worry about you. He wasn't on Leviticus Cornwall's train with me. We had to dig him out of Blackwater.
But
nothing. Me and Dutch, and everyone who counts, we know what you do for this gang. We notice. Keep it up. You're gonna start seeing things change for you.
okay then. Okay. Thank you, Arthur.
Off into the sunset. Para. This is gonna be bad now, ain't it?
Hey, the camp's in these trees up here.
Let's get there.
Arthur, Lenny, coming back.
These are fine rifles.
Right?
I'm gonna keep one, just for me. Hey, I always enjoy riding with you, kid. You know how to fight.
Hey, you too. Anytime, Arthur.
Oh, that's Car 98? Bolt action rifle, that could probably be my new sniper rifle.
And how are you this morning?
Very murderous.
Hey, Arthur.
No, no.
Jose and John are looking for you. They went out to the moonshine stash, said you knew where that was. They was planning a visit to the Braithwaite place, but John needs to do something for Dutch now, so Hosea wants you to join him instead. Seems to be a lot going on.
You're telling me. Okay, thank you.
Getting too old for you, am I? That's how it usually works with you, isn't it?
Alright.
Delusional. Again.
Won't even look me in the eye, but you look at her all day.
Doesn't matter what I say, you'll believe whatever fantasy you're currently living in.
Fantasy? You think this is a fantasy for me?
I do not have the energy for this right now.
Oh, it's written all over you. I'm not stupid, I've been watching.
Oh, that much is painfully clear.
You're playing a dangerous game.
Will you be quiet? I am trying to read
Rolling block. Bolt action. Okay, bolt action is worse in every regard. Except reload.
Here, boy. Here, boy. Whose dog is this? Whose dog?
I guess.
Where did he come from?
I don't know.
Depends on the upgrades.
Wandered in. Hi, my friend.
And the ammunition.
Well, then he's ours, I guess. For now.
Aww. That's so great. Hey, boy. Hey, boy. Aww. What should we call him?
Well, he's a wanderer. He probably did something bad. Kane. His name is Kane.
Okay. Hey, King. Whoa. What did King do?
A real bad thing. So he never stopped wandering.
Mr. Morgan! Mr. Morgan!
Fuck
I've
off.
noticed you've stopped paying into the box.
My bed's sort of busy, Miss Grimshaw.
Well, we all need to eat, Mr. Morgan.
Then go to fucking work.
Thank you.
Let's go, girl.
Sufficient to guns me.
I need a word with you, Morgan.
The fuck you want? And who the fuck are you even?
Arthur, we need to talk to you.
Who the fuck are you?
Still not quite sure why you're dressed as a lawman.
Ah, it's a mission. Not now.
Yeah. Hey there, girl. You good, girl? Yep. I pity my enemies.
Hey there, partner. You interested in a little friendly competition?
You a shooting man? I've been looking for a challenge and I ain't found one yet. What'd you say?
Oh. Why don't we find out?
Good.
Whoever shoots the most bottles wins, okay? All right. I ain't competing with a man on horseback. Get off of there. All right. Stand alongside me. As soon as you pull your weapon and aim, we let fly.
Okay. Go.
don't even see the bottle.
I'm brand new. It's hard lines, partner. Here's an idea. What do you say we raise the stakes?
You're on.
Well, that's what I like to hear. How about this? You shoot 4 birds out of the sky before me, we'll call it a day. All right, rules are simple. We're doing first to 4. You can count to 4, I hope. Stand close. As soon as you see them, start shooting. Wait for it. There they go now. Shoot! You got a damn good shot, mister. Here you go. As promised.
Thanks, friend.
Careful now. Next time I may not
shooting.
hold back.
Guess just had the edge in the end.
Sir, welcome back. Got some bills to pay, huh?
Nope. Luckily enough, I don't.
Bye.
Morning to you.
What the fuck?
And a very good morning to you.
Yeah. Oops, sorry.
Hot today, ain't it?
It's simply heavenly.
Brought money this time. Ain't gonna get away with swiping in here anymore. All right, what do you want?
What the hell was that?
Looks like you're taking care of that weapon. Good to see. I can rifle the barrel for you if you'd like.
No pearl? Yikes.
You'll appreciate the improvement. You'll notice the difference. Interested in engraving some? Make that weapon your own.
I see.
Listen, you won't take all day, will you?
I will take however the fucking long I want.
You're gonna buy something, right?
Oh.
Listen, you won't take all day, will you? You're gonna buy something, right? Listen, you won't take all day, will you? Hey, you know that gun could use a few choice parts. Really make us sing. That'll help, I'm sure. You're gonna buy something, right? Listen, you won't take all day, will you? You're gonna buy something, right? That gun seems to be well taken care of. I can improve the accuracy of that, you know. That's a wise investment. You'll appreciate the improvement. You'll notice the difference. That could really shine with some carbon in it. Listen, you won't take all day, will you? You're gonna buy something, right? Listen, you won't take all day, will you? You're gonna buy something, right? Listen, you won't take all day, will you? You're gonna buy something, right? Always good to have a full stock on ammunition. Well, if that gun ain't shining, glad you take care of what's yours. Got some nice parts for that gun, you know.
Almost done.
Listen, you won't take all day, will you? You're gonna buy something, right?
You're about to fucking die if you don't shut up. You do understand that, right?
Listen, you won't take all day, will you? You're gonna buy something, right? Looks like you're taking care of that weapon. Good to see. That gun seems to be well taken care of. Well, if that gun ain't shining, glad you take care of what's yours.
Okay. Oh, I should get the fence. Actually, because I got some stolen goods.
Nice to see you again, mister. Hey, you got anything for me? Sift through, see what you like.
Stupid house, stop. Still slightly more. Huh. Same damage, faster shooting, faster reload. Slightly less accurate now. edition. Less accurate, less damage, very slightly more fire rate. Seems that this pistol is just better. That is nice though. That is nice. that's good. Moved me. Oh, that indicates the legendary animal, I guess. Okay, okay. Let's see. Isaiah. Bill. Who's the bill? Bill usually is all about the money. I want money. Money's good. Yeah, I guess, yeah. Sure, go for this.
Anyone move? Yep. I go.
Let's move along.
Yeah.
Okay, girl. Yep.
Thank God.
Yeah.
Who's there?
Yo, mama.
It's Arthur.
You can tell me later.
You asked.
Hey, Arthur! I ever tell you boys about the time I was lost in the Congo and became a living god for a few days? Seriously, it's a good one. And it's true. Entirely true. Many years ago, I was selling camping supplies in East Africa. My lord, it was wild. Massive boys and Congo Indians, average 9 feet tall.
Congo Indians.
We was riding down the river.
Bring me something soon if you can, Arthur.
Congo Indians.
Well, I'll take what I can get. Many thanks. Many thanks, Mr. Morgan.
Arthur!
Stay away from me.
But I got a tip.
That's exactly what I'm afraid of.
Oh, it's a goodie, I'm telling you.
It always is with you. Then we end up heading in a burning barn getting shot at.
You're a sad man, Arthur Morgan. Sad man indeed.
What do you want from me?
To be treated with some respect and affection. All them out there, they're laughing at me.
You think this is the way to a man's affection? Moping and pestering all the damn day?
Oh, I can do a lot worse than that.
Is that a threat? Another great way to a man's affection.
Oh, shut up.
Gladly.
That's a healthy relationship. Fuck that. Fuck the trolls. Hey.
Hello.
Morning, Arthur.
What the fuck?
Hang in there. We're on the up.
I know. I'm fine.
Yeah.
I think you're getting a bit too attached to that badge now.
Always good to see. You got this place whipped into shape, all right.
I'm trying.
Come on, I'm so close. There you go. Yeah, I'll end it for now. Well, today.
Good morning, John.
What
Don't
the
really
fuck?
feel up to the
What
moment,
the fuck is
generally.
happening?
I don't think
What?
anybody...
Stop. Right, I should be looking. In here, Z. Let it bleed. What the fuck? This could be cool. Oh, it's gonna be big.
Cześć przyjaciele.
Yikes. Night. Ashes of Creation drama. Let's see. It's, How do I do that? Window capture, yes. Haha. Actually, what if I do that? Will that work? Nope. It's the window capture then. This one. Okay. That sort of works.
If I had a grosha for every... Cześć przyjaciele.
Shut it. Right.
Ashes of Creation.
This is what interests me. And, should I crop it? Is it okay? I guess. Let's go.
Lawsuit exposed massive fraud. Okay, we're gonna look at this. So this has been pretty big. Like Steven might actually be fucked.
Today we're talking about the Ashes of Creation absolute gaming scandal and the legal nightmare that's come of it, and one of the biggest disasters in gaming history. This is a legal mindset. We teach you to be your own judge. I'm Andrew Esquire, American attorney. This is a Fast Facts video, the quick and dirty version of the latest in legal news. And this is something that came to my attention as I really came into the scope of this, the accounting nightmare and absolute insanity. And from a person who's been corporate counsel, this is a level of absolute corporate degeneracy that needed to be exposed, and also the risks for people investing in this, whether you're a large investor.
Some guy put $80 million into this shit Like,
or
I'd
whether
be
you're
out
just
of
a
my mind.
Kickstarter backer, all of these people were harmed in this scandal. So let's get into that today on the show. First, Ashes of Creation. So this is the defendant here. Just so you guys understand, this was supposed to be a quote-unquote old school sandbox MMORPG.
And keep in mind, as far as I know, a lawsuit hasn't been filed yet, but there's a chance that a lawsuit is going to get filed.
Type RPG, in case you haven't heard of it.
$80 million,
It had been
that's a
planned
lot.
For 9 years since 2016.
You ain't
So
gonna just
obviously
lose
the
$80
studio,
million.
Intrepid Studios,
You are
is
going
at the
to
center
sue.
of this. But the real defendant here, the one who really comes up over and over again, is Mr. Steven Sharif, who is not only creative director, but really the founder, the driving force
He's the
behind this.
guy.
And when you look at all the accounting,
Yeah, he's the main guy behind Ashes of Creation, so it seems that he might be fucked.
points back to this gentleman. And there are many plaintiffs. When you look at the plaintiffs here, you see there are Warnock lawsuits.
Is the quality bad? Well, I guess it's double encoded. His legal mindset looks like he was born in PS1 era graphics. He has like 7 pixels across his entire face. Asmund doesn't look any better. Everything's kind of blurry.
Which were mass layoffs. That's something I'm going to explain to you guys because the laws regarding that in America.
You got to tell people ahead of time that they're going to get
where
laid
they
off.
were in California, they're even more strict. And then you've got TFE Game Holdings, Robert Dawson, a massive investor.
That's $80
Yaya
million.
Legacy Trust with Jason Karamis. Unpaid vendors, they were not
That's like
paying
the
for
2 or
stuff
4
like
million,
Google
something like that.
services, etc. All that had to be paid back. And then and then one thing I'm really concerned about is backers and crowdfunder class actions, because
There's no way that happens. Like, I think probability is that these two guys are probably going to sue. The vendors will probably get a liquidation amount based off of the company, you know, selling its assets and then getting the money off of that. And then this lawsuit probably isn't going to happen or go anywhere. And this one definitely isn't going to happen or go anywhere. That's my guess.
in my mind, Kickstarter funding and whatnot, it may not be as
It's
big,
not,
but it
yeah.
shouldn't be treated as less than or shouldn't be treated as second class.
So
And
how
these
they gonna get
people
the money
shouldn't
back?
be forgotten about as people that were harmed as part of this whole debacle. So let's
Yeah,
get into
sure.
it. The opening statements here. The Sandbox MMORPG was developed, announced in 2016. It grew through Kickstarter,
Already
primarily
liquidated?
hitting
I didn't know that.
$750,000 in 12 hours. So getting a lot of traction very, very quickly.
Yep.
And eventually ending up with over $3 million in funding. So a significant amount
That's like rent for like 2 months, by the way. It's like nothing.
of Kickstarter funds in the aggregate. Although, yes, that's less than their total investment amounts. But we have to remember, as we're going to see, a lot of this was really a pyramid of loans based on projected revenue, based that was not reported correctly or not being actually donated. And then that used to create larger loans. So there's a whole sort of pyramid that.
Holy shit. Yeah, that's American accounting. Fuck. So they essentially lied. Here's what projected income. It's all bullshit. It's literally like reading fucking tarot or having a crystal ball and trying to predict the fucking future. It's bullshit. And based on that, they get a loan. And then they see it as profit and project from it and get another loan. I think. Fuck.
Started with Kickstarter. Without that Kickstarter funding, they wouldn't have been able to secure the larger loans and get themselves in this deep.
Yeah, this is the...
Because they use that to show that, oh, other people believe in us. It's like a... What's it called? Social proof? Sort of. So yeah, they get a little bit of money and then they go to a bigger investor. It's like, we got this bit of money. You can invest in us. We're safe. We're good. They got that bigger bit of money. They go to a bigger investor. Look, actual people are investing in us. We're making good money now. Invest in us. He invests fuckload of money. Then they take that fuckload of money and go to even bigger investor. People are investing fuckloads of money into us. You don't want to miss out. Give me the fucking money. And a bigger investor invests again. It's literally like a pyramid scheme.
there's like a legal financial thing that people do. Like whenever you get into big money situations, you have people that use debt as a collateral asset to take on more money, and then they use the debt that they just took on with that money in order to get more investment.
Yeah.
And it's like a total fucking bunch of bullshit.
Early access was launched on December 11th, 2025, but the entire studio closed in January 2026, and the game was removed from Steam in February 2nd,
Unlimited money glitch.
2026. So the real question there is, like, did the people that bought in get what they paid for? Did they expect the launch to take 9 years and then only last for a couple of months? No, that's not the typical expectation of a gamer, and that's not what you'd expect when you're going to buy a product. So the Warren Act, the mass layoffs, this is a really interesting federal law that I have a lot of experience with, and it deals with these 60-day notice for companies over 100 plus employees. Back during COVID, I was around when we had to issue these type of warnings to all sorts of companies across the United States, and particularly if you're in California, they have an extra special statute that has more requirements and is much more strict. So they laid off 123 employees without proper legal notice. So this signals to me, as someone who has deep experience with this, very big insolvency issues. Typically, you're going to be able to do this. You're going to be able to get around this and deal with this if you've got the money, if you've got the ability to deal with this. Only companies that do not have money and that are truly deeply insolvent are going to run up against Warren Act mass layoff issues, right?
Or companies that don't give a shit and think that they can run away with the money too.
Yeah.
Keep that in mind as well. Like it's not like it's always one or the other. It could also be that they think that they can get away with it because, there's no way, like, how are they going to get sued or something like that? Like, how are you going to get the money out of them? Because at the end of the day, unless they can figure out that unless they can hold Steven personally liable, which, like, it's very unlikely, there's a high chance that they're not going to be able to get that money out of it. Because
that depends if they can pierce the corporate veil now. I don't think Steven is a stupid guy, because that shit, he was like quite wealthy and made some money. So he probably knows how finance works. He wouldn't do anything stupid for them to be able to pierce the corporate veil, but I guess we'll see.
All of the company's assets are probably going to be liquidated and seized by the bank that they already have loans against those assets to begin with. So, like, how are they going to get any money out of it, period? Prison? You don't go to prison for this.
Yeah,
that's typically a sign that you don't have the money and you're not doing the budgeting properly.
I don't know.
And the cases that are looking into this and the cases that are against this are in several jurisdictions, but they're really seeking 60 days back pay and benefits. There's 2 class actions. One of them's in California. And like I mentioned, California law is not in favor here. So those people are probably going to get a payout there in California. But I want to read you the comments from, once again, Mr. Steven Sharif, because he's a character here who, after these layoffs were happening, tried to draw out a lot of sympathy. And as we're going to see, he's perhaps one that shouldn't be speaking here. But let's read his statement to give it fair dues here and give it some, some thoughts. So he said, and this is one of his statements he made on Discord, I can make a limited statement in my personal capacity and not on behalf of the company regarding the situation.
Nothing's going to happen.
Control of the company shifted away from me, and the board began directing actions that I could not ethically agree with or carry out. As a result, I chose to resign in protest rather than lend my name and authority to decisions I could not ethically support. Following my resignation, much of the senior leadership team resigned. Following the departures, the board made the decision to issue the Warren Act notices and proceed with a mass layoff. I cannot responsibly speak to further details at this time due to ongoing legal and governance matters. That's some real corporate lawyer speak right there.
Oh, yeah.
What I can say is that the developers and staff acted in good faith. That's a word right there. And deserve better than uncertainty they are now facing. I am incredibly dismayed by the situation. I guarantee you he had a lawyer.
72 clown emoji reacts, 22 middle finger reacts, 8 caps,
5 Ys. What even is that?
33 poop reacts. Like, I mean, this is not looking good, guys.
draft this up. I can tell you that right now. This is
That's bad.
definitely
Based on
lawyerly
emojis.
statement talking about
The
limited
emoji
statements,
analysis.
good faith, right? This is something that is lawyer drafted up. And we can see that when we
Which is
actually do
smart.
the accounting. And credit to Nafaz HQ, who did a lot of the accounting work. And there's a lot of
Oh no, bro. Robert gave him, dude, this is like 3 months ago, and you just dropped in a million, 1.3 million. Oh no.
great accounts.
So wait, Jason had, you put in 6.8 million, and he only gave you 3%?
Damn.
that have been following this and haven't gotten enough traction on this, because I believe a scandal of this size deserves to be exposed.
What the
so
hell?
That everybody knows this is what you can be getting into with these projects you're giving money to
What
and
the
investing in,
fuck?
whether you're investing on Kickstarter or whether you're somebody who has a significant amount of
Steven
money.
only had
like in your
5%?
pension,
Wait,
your
wait.
401k,
Nowhere close to-
and you're deciding to.
That's nowhere close to making an MMO. 100 mils? That ain't shit. Honestly. It's not enough.
To direct it towards these things. This was a massive amount. We're talking about $99 million here, right? And
99 million. Oh my
once
god.
again, this is absolutely an insane amount of money that was really misused. So let's get into the investor lawsuits. So the first lawsuit with TFE lawsuit in Nevada was by Robert Dawson against Sharif and John Moore. It claims embezzlement, commingling of funds, fraud, and breach of fiduciary duties. Those are all very serious.
Robert Dawson, so he gave like 60 mil or something against Sharif and John Moore. Embezzlement, commingling of funds, fraud, and breach of fiduciary duty. Claims Sharif withdrew 10 million unaccounted for, paying his husband Moore, former COO, a salary without work performed, using company funds for a California mansion, using the loans as revenue to secure larger loans. That's fairly normal. And sabotaging upon resignation. TFE foreclosed on Intrepic. Okay. That's fucked.
Claims, and those are all related to essentially when you're having an amount of money that's not directed where it should go, it's being embezzled. You're commingling funds. That means personal funds and business funds.
That's the piercing the corporate veil. That's how they can hold you personally liable versus holding the corporation liable.
Fraud, fraudulent misrepresentation. You say you're going to use it for one thing, you're using it for another, and breach of fiduciary duty.
And when you use it for personal, then they can pierce the corporate veil and hold you personally accountable. Then you're fucked. You're on the hook for everything.
You're in charge of those funds and you're misusing them. You have a fiduciary duty to your company, right, and investors to use them in a proper.
I don't know. Actually, this is a question I'd have for Andrew. Is that I thought that you only had to operate out of fiduciary responsibility when you were a publicly traded company. I wasn't aware that a privately traded stakeholder has the it has the ability to hold their hold the board to a fiduciary responsibility. I thought it was only if you were publicly traded. But I don't know that.
Manner. So they go out and say that Sharif withdrew $10 million that just wasn't
private?
accounted for.
I don't know the answer.
He was paying his husband, Mr. Moore,
You still have
John
it.
Moore, the former COO, a salary without work. So essentially his husband was not working. So remember back to his statement when he says, hey,
Same in private,
the
but
senior
less
leadership
regulated?
resigned.
Okay.
Well, yeah, one of them was your husband who wasn't doing any work, right? using company funds for a California mansion. Definitely not permissible. And then using...
See that? I think that if he actually used company funds to buy a mansion, I think that they're going to get him.
Yeah.
I do. I think that's especially if you're living there and you're not making content out of there. Now, what I'm assuming that he would probably use as a defense is that he worked out of there, But there's a reason why you can't write your whole house off whenever you're writing out a home office, right? You have to look at the area of the house. Like, I don't even write off my home office. I don't even do that.
How much of the house are you actually using for work? So it's only partial.
Like a million other write-offs, but that's not even one of them that I engage with, because there are certain things like that that are like red flags for auditing, and it only gets you like $1,800 in some cases, right? It's not even that much. They rented, not bought. Yeah, but if they're renting the house, so and here's the issue, right? Is like if you're renting the house and you're recording videos in the house, you're probably going to use that as a defense. But I don't think that anybody is going to realistically buy that.
Loans as revenue to secure larger loans. So essentially, they were taking loans based on
I don't want to talk about it.
Promised revenue or based on that. Essentially, they were taking loans based on
I don't want to talk about it.
Promised revenue or based on that Kickstarter revenue.
It's really bad.
Once again, all going back to Kickstarter, taking that Kickstarter revenue, using that to secure a loan, and then counting the loan as revenue, which is not good accounting practice. I'm not an accountant, but I can tell you right now that's not a good accounting practice.
Well,
right?
Isn't it exactly the same what Enron did? I think that's what Enron did, and well, was Bernie Madoff? Something like that. But yeah, he was essentially using projections and loans and signed contracts that haven't been realized yet, and he essentially accounted them as if they're profit. So it's very similar.
Obviously not. It's illegal. Yeah, of course.
To use a loan as revenue to secure a larger loan, right? And that's just a big pyramid of debt that ends up collapsing on you. And then sabotaging the company upon his resignation. So all of these things happened, and this lawsuit was concluded, and TFE foreclosed on Intrepid seizing all its assets and IP. So they did get the assets and IP in this case, and it does show, once again, you've got...
Getting the assets and the IP is like getting the wrapper from a candy bar after somebody's done eating the candy. Like, I mean, it doesn't matter. Like, nobody gives a shit.
The IP ain't worth shit.
Evidence out there. You've got documents that have been released to show that these things happen. So these documents and evidence are now used by people, such as on YouTube, to expose them, accounting and tax emails, etc. But they can also be used in other class actions, and that's very important here. Next, it was the Yaya legacy. And also be used.
This is crazy. $10 million unaccounted for.
Yeah,
you could figure this out in like 10 seconds.
In other class actions, and that's very important. Next was the Yaya legacy lawsuit, which was another large investor, Jason Karamis, against Sharif. And this one's got really the big key points here. Pretty much saying
this is the guy, I think, that called into that other dude's stream like 3 days ago.
Sharif orchestrated a $140 million fraud scheme by falsifying self-funding when he really gave no money himself. So he had zero personal investment looking at the QuickBook.
I'm not sure if I believe that. And the reason why I don't believe that is because there's a good chance that the personal investment that he did was at the founding of the company rather than the incorporation of the company with an investment structure. I think this could be, because again, you have to keep in mind, everybody is already going to be against Steven. And I think that that's going to shade everything that people hear as being negative against Steven. And I'm not saying Steven's good or not. I'm just saying that keep in mind that whenever you hear it from Jason, that Jason's going to give you the perspective that's in his best interest.
And using that as the evidence to say, hey, he's got nothing in here. He was failing to report monthly losses of $2.3 million every month. Think about that. Not putting those losses on the book, that's crazy. Having no board meetings in 9 years. And this is one that I like how negligent do you have to be to not have a single board meeting in 9 years? Yeah, that's really how you pull the wool over people's eyes, is you're just not talking about things, you're not having any minutes, you're not doing what a normal corporation would do. You'd have board meetings very regularly, if not, when you're really spinning up.
You do like, it's quarterly or once a year, right? I mean, it's like, I thought, honestly, like I remember whenever we went through all this, I thought the law was that you had to do it once a year.
Yeah, You
Like
have to.
that's what they made it sound like to me whenever I talked about this, or I looked into this. Like I thought you basically had to do it.
It's not fucking optional.
That's why
You
I'm
might even have
confused.
monthly or bi-monthly, right? If you're really in a building phase, but having none, that's not acceptable. Using stream revenue
Depends
for
on the
personal,
stage.
Steam revenue, sorry, for personal gain, bankrupting Intrepid Studios, and rejecting and restructuring. Remember, businesses can more easily go through bankruptcy and restructuring than personal accounts and personal bankruptcy.
course.
So it's always possible, even if you're in deep, even if you have a lot of problems.
Goddamn.
If along the way in this 9-year journey, if Sharif wanted to redirect the company and go elsewhere and try to restructure it or try to get things right, that could have been done. There's points at which in
Probably
a
through a
company
board
you can
meeting.
restructure even a really bad situation, and you can try to go get alternative funding or try to argue different debt rates, etc.
This is the reason why Ubisoft still exists, by the way. We talk about, oh, wow, women are so stupid with astrology. Trust me, some accounting measures are even more bullshit than horoscopes. Keep that in mind.
That's always possible, but they decided not to do any
Total
of that.
bullshit.
And this lawsuit is now impending. And
Cheating
now
money,
getting to
yeah.
the one thing that I'm kind of passionate about, which is Kickstarter. As somebody who's invested in some Kickstarter stuff in my time, and looking at what was promised, these are tier lists from
It's
one
a
of
lot
the
of money.
Kickstarter campaigns. There were, from what I'm aware, talking to people, there were multiple Kickstarter campaigns,
Mm-hmm.
but from one of them, you got the Warrior of Old at 250, Braver of
Oh,
New
wow.
World, Braver Worlds at
Wow.
500,
Wow.
Leader of Men at 1,000, and all the way up to
Wow.
Avatar of the Phoenix at
Wow.
10K a pop. And
Wow.
what you're promised here are things that you can use in the game, is getting access to the game and being able to use all these
Exactly.
things, have all these things. Look, some of them have lifetime subscriptions,
Mm-hmm.
etc. And the way they tried to snake out of this, the way they try to get out of being responsible for this
Is
is
the beta?
saying, we launched the game.
Yeah.
We launched the game. Well, was that really a launch? It was more of an early access that you had barely
It's definitively an early access because it was released as an early access on Steam. I think if this went to court, nobody could conclude that it was a... that's like saying a beta for a video game or any playable demo is a launch of a video game. That's
Yeah.
obviously not the case, and it's a deliberate misunderstanding of what the
Right.
terms mean.
under 2 months of access.
Is it still on Steam? Let me see. Ashes of Creation. Overwhelmingly negative, mostly negative. Not the best reviews. But yeah, it's still early access, so they clearly haven't released the game. No. Fuck off.
Access to? I don't really think so. So getting into the Kickstarter claims, which have not been filed, but people are wanting these things to be filed, I think under
Yes.
California law, piercing the corporate veil against Stephen Sharif is very likely to succeed. So there is a possibility
If he lived in the house, yeah, probably.
for these things to kick off. There's very strong evidence for fraudulent inducement and misrepresentation, which is California Civil Code Section 1572, breach of contract and implied covenant, and unjust enrichment. So for the Kickstarter TOS and the campaign promise, putting those together, saying, hey, you put this on Kickstarter, look at the TOS, look what you have to deliver there, plus your promises
Yeah.
during the campaign, that's an enforceable obligation. That's something we
I just don't think that, like, I mean, it's... I don't really see the class action Kickstarter lawsuit happening. I don't. Now, I would say that, do you know who should do it?
But they won't get any money from it.
Maldavius Fig Tree. Pirate Software. The man himself. Because let's be honest, Thor is so... He can be. He can be so sanctimonious. He can be so self-righteous. Oh my God. And he does this. And if he honestly should do it for content. It would be crazy if he did that. The redemption arc. Yes, exactly, bro.
The redemption
Fucking
arc of
exactly.
Pirate Software.
You have a obligation to launch the game
Fuck.
truly or refund.
Second
Really,
generation
I mean,
Blizzard.
to
Yeah,
me,
he
that's
should
pretty
know.
straight up. And that
Didn't
is
he
one
used
of
to
the
work at Blizzard?
strongest claims
Yeah, he
for
did.
people looking to put this together. And then you also can look at early access as not a launch per expectations, especially after a 9-year delay. And looking at the backers giving so much money, 3.27 million, which
That's
Sharif
crazy.
misused. He's enriched by that. So he himself personally was enriched by that, some of which he used to secure loans, which he mismanaged or misused, but it has to go back to that.
I wonder, this is a question I don't know, is that if you use funds to secure other funds, if the funds that you secured with the first funds and then you misappropriate those funds, does that create enough of a grounds to say that you were misusing the original funds and have them redistributed? I don't know if that's the case. I mean, logically you would assume that is the case, but maybe from a categorical perspective it wouldn't work.
Law isn't always logical.
It stacks, yeah, that's still embezzlement. I just don't know enough about this.
Original
Only
3.27
if
million
it doesn't
that
work.
the game wouldn't have been started
Yeah.
without. So backers, if they want to get behind this, which I know a lot of people are talking about this on different platforms right now,
The
they should
so-called
really
fraud.
document their
Fundamentally,
pledges.
yes.
They should save all those statements from Sharif and join in a class action. Try to find a class action in
That is,
California
bro, they
that
gotta
has
get
very,
Thor on it,
very,
bro.
very
They
good
get-
law. So let's get to the
Mal
topic.
Davies,
There's
bro,
a
like,
very
get him
high
in there.
likelihood of piercing the corporate veil
Yes.
against Stephen Sharif and possibly others, such as his husband. Right? You've got
If it's all
possible
true.
claims for fraudulent inducement, breach of implied contract, and unjust enrichment for those Kickstarter backers. So I really think they should seriously consider this as a way to fight back. Courts need to offer a remedy for backers and crowdfunders to prevent.
Will not happen. Nothing's happening with that. I'm gonna be honest. Like the guys with a lot of money on this will probably get something out of it, but like the fucking random
And
people,
will
like
still be
if you were like
cents on the dollar, and even if the class action were to somehow go through and they win, whatever, you ain't getting like any fucking money out of it. It will be like symbolic at best.
I love Asmongold,
It will be scraps of scraps and then cents on the dollars of those scraps.
I have to give him $250 to play it early. Oh, it's a scam? Oh, not again.
Not again.
You're not getting your $250 back, man. Sorry about that. Oops, my bad.
Them from being scammed in the future. Backers, I know what they're giving is small compared to a 401k or a pension fund or a large investor, but they shouldn't be treated as expendable and they shouldn't be treated as
They
second
should
class
get their money
citizens
back, but
in
they
the
won't.
law and under the law. They shouldn't
It's
have
unfair.
to look and say, okay, well, I've given up this money now. This money
Yes.
is gone. I'm not going to get anything from it. That can be a lot of money to a person. If they gave 250 or 1,000, maybe to them that was a lot of money. And yes, it's not $99 million, right? But it's something
$3
and
million.
should be given
Collectively,
back to them.
$3
And
million.
so I do
Yeah,
think
exactly.
they should come together and form a lawsuit and look at a remedy here because this is an unjust thing that happened. And Ashes of Creation is absolutely one of the biggest scams that I've seen in really recent history regarding games. But
I want to see what the lawsuit is. And more importantly, I want to see what Steven's response to it will be.
Oh,
because like
Steven ain't gonna be doing too much talking, because he's probably currently talking with his lawyers, and he won't be probably making any statements until essentially the lawsuit. Because anything he says could be essentially used against him. It's best to just shut the fuck up and let the lawyers do all the talking.
What they're alleging is like crazy. Like you're talking about like basically the biggest corporate fraud things that you can possibly do. Like I don't know.
I want to know what you guys think in the comments below. Have you heard of this? Did you know about it? What do you think about it now? Let me talk to you later. Peace.
Man, what a fucking video. No, I honestly, like, I do think that there's a high probability if he used the funds to buy that house, then there is a good chance that he could be getting cooked, man. Maybe Steven thought about saving the company with Steam sales. I thought they already made the decision before then. There's the video right there. Make sure to give it a like. I love Andrew, Legal Mindset. I've been watching his videos for a very long time, and I think he's got a good take on things, short, to the point video, etc. And so sad, I wanted to make a good one. Absolutely. He was texting Jason that Ashes was going to get taken by Tencent, which hyped Jason up massively, and he gave millions on it. Well, I saw the investment that Jason put in was 1.3, right? That's what it said. Yeah. No, that's Robert. Oh. So Jason put in 6.8? Oh my God. Oh my God. Why do MMO gamers keep getting fucked? Because it is the reason why MMO gamers keep getting fucked is actually completely reasonable and easily understandable for why that is. I'll tell you.
Same reason why Star Citizen players get fucked. We all want the game. It's expensive to make the game. It's easy to scam us. We're coping. We have trauma from World of Warcraft. We want to believe. We want our childhood back, essentially.
The reason why. It's because MMOs are the biggest game. So there are the most fail points inside of an MMO development. So like, for example, if you're making an FPS game that's like very small in scope, there are fewer points of failure than there are with an MMO. I would throw up losing $6 million. I mean, the odds are, anybody that has the finances to go and spend $6 million, and especially for like such a small percentage in ownership, like, I bet this guy probably has like a $20+ million net worth. Like, I bet he's probably fine. But like, I'd still be fucking furious. I would be. I mean, like, yeah. What about Robert losing? Yeah. Now, Robert, on the other hand, Robert, I'd be really upset. I would be very, very upset if I was Robert. I'd be furious. Worth the $100 million go anyway. It didn't pay for stuff for a longer time. It's just the reason why he lost a lot of this money, right? Losing 25% of your money. I mean, yeah, but like, if you have that much money, it's not like it's gonna matter, right? I mean, it's bad. Robert's probably worth 9 figures. Yeah, I mean, that's probably true. And so I see him. I want to watch his back. I mean, I don't know about that, but like, he is not. He had to undersell his Lambo and Rolls Royce and liquidate Bitcoin. Jesus Christ. Well, I mean, a Lamborghini and a Rolls Royce. Like, I mean, that's money. Like what? At most, like 800K?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, if you're reselling it, right? I mean, that's best case scenario. So, I mean, I still don't see how you, like, that's another 6 million that you're getting, right? At most? Yeah, exactly, if that. And so, under $1 million? Yeah, I would say that. I don't know how much a used Lamborghini is. I have no idea.
Barely anything.
No, it depends on the model. Like, I don't even know how much a Rolls Royce is either.
You have to be honest. Special version.
Massively mismanaged operation. That's the new MMO nowadays, guys. Why did no one from the board say we require a board meeting within 9 fucking years? The reason probably is because there were board meetings, but they were unofficial, and they weren't counted as official board meetings for... But I think that really that is probably going to show that they were not going through, traditional practices, best practices. So they probably were having meetings, but they weren't like they weren't formal board meetings, right? Like a Discord call or something like that. It's not on the books exactly, because like I bet they probably talk to each other regularly, but like that's not it. Either way, that's fucking crazy. I'm gonna take a break and chill out for a bit, get some fucking food and eat, but I'll hang out for maybe a little, like 10-20 more minutes and hang out and do anything else. Didn't Steven say there's no board to answer anyone? There's the video again. Make sure to give it a like. I would say boards don't mean much in private. Well, the board doesn't mean a lot, but this is the reason why I think it matters. It matters because if you can see that they're not doing... Okay, so they're not doing accounting best practices. They're not doing board meetings.
My browser is getting cooked. Window isn't even responding anymore. What the fuck is happening? Wow.
So this
Stop.
They're, embezzling funds, and they're commingling personal finances with company finances. Whenever you put all of these things together, you have a large amount of information that makes him look bad, right? I mean, that's the main issue. It's not that it's one thing, it's about creating a pattern of behavior. Have you been playing infield lately? Sets up a precedent for misuse? Yeah, it sets the stage in order for people to make an argument that there was a misuse. Ashes of Creation lawsuit exposed massive fraud.
This one, I guess.
I can tell your mind goes in and out holes. I can tell your mind goes.
What's up with that?
I can tell your mind goes. Your mind goes. I can tell your mind goes.
He's printing a gun.
Hey everyone, we have something very important to talk about, something that could influence the future of 3D printing as we know it. Washington State
That is so
Bill
fucking...
2321 is one of the most invasive and dangerous bills to your personal privacy as well as your freedom to make things. And of course, this is a House bill in Washington, so if you don't live in Washington, you might be thinking, well, it doesn't affect me. They voted their politicians in, it's their fault. They're gonna see the consequences just like all of those gun owners in California. Now, this bill will not just affect makers in Washington, but also nationwide if it passes, as well as potentially worldwide. This is why this bill must be met with resistance, and this may indeed be the future of 3D printing at risk. Before we get into the specifics of this bill, which actually just got accelerated onto a House vote now, it's fully moved forward and is going to be voted on, I want to just say that yes, I am a firearms enthusiast, so I do have some sort of a dog in the fight. I am biased in that way that I enjoy firearms, and I also enjoy making them. Whether it's through building one out of metal or building one out of 3D printed plastic, that is how this channel started. And so I'm going to acknowledge that, of course, yes, I am a proponent of people's rights to build their own firearms, whether that's with a 3D printer or otherwise. I also have to thank our channel sponsor, and that is Atreus Development Group. If you like going fast with your AR, you are going to love Atreus because they make the FRS. They've got an ambi version and a regular version. It's quite affordable, and it has 3 positions. It allows you to go into safe, semi, and a little bit faster semi. Atreus cares about the community and wants to get this kind of product in every freedom-loving American's hand. So I really do love Atreus for that. If you are interested in an FRS, never in a million years use PSR for 10% off your entire order from Atreus. Big thank you to Atreus for sponsoring this channel. Now, we're not going to be doing any shooting today, but I do have to thank also HSL Ammunition. Everything that I shoot is HSL, unless it's a caliber that they don't make, but they do make quite a few calibers. Their stuff is great for training. They also make defensive loads, so definitely check HSL out, and big thank you to HSL for providing the ammo used on this channel. All right, so what is Washington House Bill 2321? Well, I had a few people reach out to me on Twitter and in my YouTube comments asking for me to cover this on my channel. I still very much love 3D printing, and I do love making my own 3D printed firearms, like this Tech 9 frame right here. I know I haven't done a ton of 3D printing, which is not really a topic that we're gonna cover today, but I'm going to be doing more stuff just like this coming up soon on the channel. So if you guys like to see the print in the print, shoot, repeat in the PSR happen, stay tuned because we're gonna have more stuff. But let's talk about this bill. So the main goal of this bill, which was proposed a few weeks ago and now is going to the next step, and going to be voted on. The key is it is going to be attempting to regulate 3D printers themselves. Now, Washington State already has a law that makes it illegal to 3D print or make your own firearms. So that's already a law. That's already been banned. But now they're trying to go a step further and ban 3D printers from producing or printing, or even CNC machines from subtractively manufacturing anything firearm related. Think about how dystopian that is. The government in your state, if you live in...
How the fuck would you even do that? There's so many shapes you could create. It's not enforceable in any sort of way. It will just fuck with the printers and CNC and whatever. But it's not going to stop it. Are these people retarded? Like, your slicer or CAD, whatever, because the printer itself doesn't have the computational power to realize, oh, I'm printing a gun. It has no fucking idea how it's printing. It's just G-code, right? So if they want to enforce that, they would have to do that on slicer or CAD level, where you wouldn't be able to export or slice a CAD before printing. So you'd have to, I don't know, submit your parts for human verification or use AI, but it's not going to work, even if it's a human. You can make the fucking bolt or some other kind of assembly look so much different and still be functional. It's not enforceable.
Washington is trying to regulate you from creating certain shapes out of 3D printers. They've already made it illegal to make them, but they're going to try to control your ability to make them. In places like California and New York, they're trying to make it illegal to even possess the code, the G-code files, the STL files. Even being in possession of that file could potentially turn you into a criminal. This is art, this is free speech. This is absolutely insane, and I think it's just really important to talk about it. What this bill does is it tries to regulate printers sold in Washington. So what they're going to try to do is put blocking features in these printers before they are sold. They're going to require that each manufacturer that sells a printer in Washington State or comes through Washington State and lands in a store in Washington State, that printer has to have a mandated blocking feature set. So anything that could be construed as a firearm part, like a switch, for example, of course, that's illegal already, federally, not just at the state level. That is going to be for sure on their list of things to block, but it could be a pick rail. It could even be, for example, a pistol grip, like this one. This could be blocked, even though it's not a firearm. It could be blocked.
How would you do that on the fucking printer? It's not technically viable. The best part is, the printer itself doesn't even know the shape of the thing it's printing. Because it's G-code, it would have to look through the entire G-code and construct a 3D model from that, and then compare it to, oh, is it like 80 or 70% similar to this model of a pistol grip? If yes, then maybe that is a pistol grip. Or use some kind of fucking AI, but it's going to be shit. It's not going to work half the time, but it will false flag prints that aren't guns. It's fucking retarded. These people are stupid.
This could go on an airsoft gun. Still could be blocked. What about one of these M-lock rail covers? Blocked. Of course, a self-made firearm is going to be blocked. This is rail covers.
This is just a bar of fucking material with two holes.
Blocked. Of course, a self-made firearm is going to be blocked. This is illegal in Washington, this frame. Now, if you guys want to get more into the details and also hear some really great points from someone who's not actually someone that is in the firearms community, but does a great job of explaining this bill and its potential implications, I would highly recommend checking out Loyal Moses on YouTube. I will link his channel in the description and some of the videos that he's posted about this topic. I think he does a really good job of talking about it in a very clear way for people to understand, and he does go into details around each section of this bill. So highly recommend you check him out. I'm just going to be going over some key points kind of in plain language summary here, but the bill regulates 3D printers, or it attempts to at least, which means every single printer is going to have blocking features, as I mentioned. These are going to be software and or firmware elements that...
It will have to be software. The printer doesn't have the computational power to figure out what the fuck is it printing, to go through all of the G code, create a model out of that, and then understand what the fucking model is. It can't do that. It probably has like a STM32F600 or maybe 700 series microcontroller, like with a couple of threads, and that's it. It's not going to fucking do that. It's not possible. And then again, even if it's like software, most people have dog shit PCs, because you don't need that good of a PC to run your G code to your printer. How?
Detect certain shapes, the shape of a firearm, of course, and they're going to be updated by the Attorney General at a minimum of once a year. This is going to have a blueprint detection algorithm. It's going to be a system that identifies certain parts, like I said. So it's going to be implemented in July 1st, 2027, if it passes. So their attempt is going to be blocking regulated components. Now, that's all up to their discretion. It could be an airsoft pistol grip. It could be a pick rail. It could even be, for example, an ARCA mount for a NATO rail that you could use on a camera, but because it can be attached to a rifle, that's now not printable. You can't make that anymore. Now, what are the penalties if you do commit a violation of this law now, if it gets passed? Well, you could first get charged with a misdemeanor, and if you have a second infraction, you would be charged with a Class C felony under Washington state law. So how realistic is this even? Well, it doesn't seem particularly realistic for actually stopping criminals from making firearms. So if you're Washington, you already put a law that says you can't make a firearm. So that's illegal already. But now they're trying to just
People
make
can do
the
it
thought
on
or the
manual lathes and routers. They can do that fast enough. You don't need a CNC for that. And if you make some adjustments to your router, for example, you can make it so it only has certain moves that it can make, and that will be just as good as a CNC router. Yeah, a person will have to turn the knobs and so forth, but it will stop at certain points and that's it. So he doesn't even have to think about what he's doing.
Actual possession of a file, potentially making that illegal. But not only that, if you want to make a firearm part at home, you're now going to have an FFL. So if you want to make anything that would be potentially blocked by this software that they implement, which is going to be determined by the Attorney General, what makes the list and what doesn't. But if your pick rail, for example, or if your grip is on the list, you're going to need to get an FFL to print that. How insane is that? It's completely asinine and ridiculous. Let's say you're watching this video though, and you're not really into making your own firearms out of a 3D printer. That's totally okay. And what if you're like sitting in Washington, maybe you're like a little bit left of center, or maybe even a little bit right of center, and you have a gun or two, you got your standard Glock, and you just want safety. You just want the community to be safe.
Yeah, it's not going to help the community, but what it will do, doesn't matter where they implement the locks or wherever, what it will do is fuck with every other print that is not a gun. Guaranteed. It will false flag fucking bunch of stuff. So, yeah. It will be shit.
So you see this bill and you say, you know what, it makes
I love
kind of
American
makes
politics.
sense, you know?
So
it's a safety
retarded.
bill where it's a public safety issue. People aren't supposed to be 3D printing these guns in our state anyway. What would be wrong with implementing this software? Well, I'll tell you what's wrong with it. And this is something that eventually will affect all of us that are into this hobby, including myself, including you if you're into this hobby, and even people worldwide who are into this hobby.
Yeah, like, unlikely that the manufacturer would want to maintain two different firmware lines. And on top of that, you can just flash someone else's firmware. Like Canada's firmware or whatever. It's so stupid. It's so unenforceable. Bunch of fucking 90-year-old retards. Holy shit.
And they don't even print guns. You could just be printing miniatures. It doesn't even have to be firearms related. The firearms part of this, and Loyal Moses used a good word. He said Trojan horse. 3D printed firearms part of this bill is going to be a Trojan horse, an excuse to get them to be able to continue to regulate what you can and can't print. Potentially, this could lead to these companies, like, for example, Disney, now copyrighting your potential bust of, let's say, Darth Vader. They could come after you and make that not printable because they've put a blocker in the software. The government gives these companies a reason, an excuse to go and now be able to control what you can
the system
or
is already
cannot
in place.
print. It's a mandatory update. Sorry, it's not going to work. Your printer won't work if you don't update this software. This is free
people will
speech
hack
being
it.
attacked. Your right to create, your right to fix, your right to repair, your right to just have an imagination and make things. This is what 3D printing is about. This is what making things is about. Another example, let's say your heater knob in your 2002 Ford Escort broke and you found a file online and you know what? It's a perfect fit. It's a match. You can be able to print that thing out of PLA even or whatever material you want. It's going to cost you literally 40 cents to print. But because of this bill, potentially Ford could in the future, if this gets passed, go in and say, sorry, that's our copyrighted material. That's our IP and you cannot print it anymore. So we have put this on the list of blocked parts. This is about guns, it's about dangerous weapons, but
And then this is insane because I think he's correct because that is much more enforceable. Because guns, you don't have to copy someone's gun. You can make your own gun. So they have different shapes. So you need some sort of AI or some visual recognition algorithm that is going to determine whether what you're printing looks like a gun or not. And it will work like shit. You can trick it and it will false flag things that aren't guns. With copyrighted stuff like Darth Vader, the dimensions and proportions of that are known and they don't change. It's much more enforceable. You need like a 99% match to like proportions and the rough dimensions of the solid, which will already tell you whether it's that part or not. Same with like car parts. You know what they look like, down to a millimeter. So it's much easier. And that is enforceable. So that's probably the angle, actually.
this is what could potentially happen if this bill passes. Our freedom to create, our freedom to tinker is at risk right now, hugely at risk. And another thing is just not only does this apply to 3D printers, but it applies to CNC machines. It applies to businesses. Businesses under this bill, if they get caught either selling a printer that's not updated with the firmware, or let's say making a pistol grip that was blocked on their software and somehow they got around it, well, that's gonna be a felony. There's no misdemeanor. If you're a business, it's a felony in Washington state under this law. So we're talking about CNC machines being regulated. So if you are a Washington business and you are making, let's say, handguards for firearms, and you're CNCing them, and you don't have the need to have an FFL, right? That file could be blocked under this legislation. And I know you guys are saying, oh, well, it's super easy to circumvent those things. And I get it. It is. You could have a custom printer that's like a Voron or something that's completely built out and, you know, off the grid and everything, but you're still going to be committing a felony. And then the other broader thing too that affects us, all of us, is these 3D print companies like Bamboo Lab, for example. Bamboo Lab is not going to have any incentive to make a specific Washington state 3D printer. They're not going to do that. Their manufacturing process is streamlined. They're not going to make a specific firmware for Washington state. They're going to put this firmware into every printer. That would be my guess. Either that or they're not going to sell to Washington state, which I would say would be a better option for all of us. But potentially they're just going to implement this into their software. And that is a huge problem for everyone because now we've all become subject to this nanny state monitoring of our business and what we choose to print. And if We don't want to comply with that. They're going to brick our printers. That is the potential for what could happen. So as you can tell, I'm super passionate about this. I started my journey here on YouTube printing things, and I found it so cool, so fun, so empowering, amazing way to express my willingness to build things. It's a very exciting hobby, and I just want this to continue. And this bill in Washington could potentially end that for everyone. We're already living in a world where privacy does not exist anymore. Do we want to continue to have the government spying on us through our 3D printers? Do we want the government to mandate a company that's giving you this tool to create things, to no longer have any freedom to create the things you want? Is that what you want? If that's not what you want, I would highly recommend that if you live in Washington State, contact your politicians and tell them why you do not want this bill to pass. This is extremely dangerous for the right to repair, the right to be creative, free speech, code is speech. This is super important. I'm begging anyone in Washington, if you care about creating things, if you care about 3D printing, I don't care if you hate guns, I don't care if you hate 3D printed guns. 3D printed guns are already illegal in Washington, guys. Please, if you care about 3D printing, contact your representatives in Washington.
Yeah,
also, the catalog just got sued by the state of California. That's a whole other can of worms, but that's something that you should be thinking about. It's a similar kind of topic to this, but I just wanted to tell you guys about this because it's super important. If you don't do anything and you just want more information on this, I would highly recommend, as I said, check out Loyal Moses on YouTube, and I will link him in the description. And as I said before, I know some of you are quite upset with me for not doing more content around 3D printing, and so I hope that you enjoyed at least this video, because I still am very passionate about this hobby, and I've got some projects coming up soon here that I will be featuring on the channel, and I hope you enjoy them. Thank you guys for watching. I think this is really important, and I hope you guys, if you live in Washington, make your voice heard.
Probably wanted to
I'll see you in the next one. Bye.
Milk them for the fucking subscription. Cup holder. Nice. Nice.
On the 9th of May,
He's a huge fan of moments where, good morning, John. Don't really feel up to the moment, generally. I don't think anybody's a huge fan of moments where it feels like suddenly everything's possible and that there aren't any good answers and there's no way to sort of access what the future will be like, or even how we got here. So instead, today, I want to talk about life on Mars. And I'm just going to go off the dome here, if you don't mind, though I do have some notes. And I just like, it's possible that with the whole world being what it is right now, you did not hear about this, but NASA announced, and there was a paper out, that after a full year of work, Perseverance, the rover, has detected some things on the surface of Mars that we do not know how to explain without there having been life on Mars. Now that's very different from saying that there was definitely life on Mars, and very, very different from saying there is currently life on Mars. But to put this all in context and to talk about like how science works, I'm going to give you the past, present, and future of life on Mars, including this recent discovery, which I think could be quite a big deal. The first spacecraft we ever sent to the surface of Mars was in the 1970s, and it carried a little biology lab. So Viking 1 and 2 weren't just there taking pictures, though the pictures were important because, like, look, they did not know if they might see, like, lichen. They knew that Mars was pretty barren. They knew that the atmosphere was very thin. But there was plenty of talk back then about whether the pictures would show life. And there were definitely biology experiments on the Viking landers that were designed to detect life. So this was, from the beginning, taken very seriously. I mean, even before we were on Mars, there was lots of talk about whether there would be little green men. They were not looking for signs of past life. They were looking for currently existing life. They grabbed a little bit of soil and they put like water and nutrients on it to see.
And now we know it's fucking barren, so we're looking at possibility of past life.
If metabolism would start. And the first signal from that experiment was that gas was being released. And that was a big moment. But the way that science works, then you do other experiments to see if maybe that could have been done through some normal kind of chemistry, because like situations on the surface of Mars aren't going to be like situations on the surface of Earth. Other experiments on the surface of Mars showed no organic molecules. And then also we showed that the metabolism could be explained just by weird chemistry rather than by life. There could easily be just reactive compounds in the soil that would mimic the signs of life. So the verdict shifted from maybe yes to probably not. Viking was set up kind of with like one big experiment to decide everything, and that's just so rarely how science works. Now, if they had just taken pictures of some moss, that would have been it. Like, it could have played out that way. But usually it's more like you get a lot of drips, you interrogate those drips, you try and like deal with those interrogations, like a criticism, no, maybe it was done like this, and they're like, okay, we'll check for that, and that's how science works. Measurements, counter-measurements, arguments, contradictions, revisions, science. In 1996, I was 16 years old and I was at summer camp, and another big thing happened. There was this Martian meteorite that was found in Antarctica, ALH 84001, Allen Hills, 84001. And that was a rock from Mars. It had been blasted off the surface of Mars by an impact, and then it had landed in Antarctica, and we grabbed that, and we did science to it, and we looked at it under an electron microscope, and we were like, oh my gosh, this thing looks like a fossil of a bacteria. And that was very big news, and I was very frustrated because I was at camp and I didn't have my computer and I couldn't blog about it. So that's where I'm at. Then people were like, look, geology can make bacteria-shaped structures all by itself, and today this is still like in limbo. Like, it is an unresolved, probably forever a maybe sign that there could have been life. And it's like, to me, it's not even a check in either column. Now, to be fair, I skipped over the first part of this story, which is like looking at Mars and seeing, are these canals? Is this like a sign of an ancient dying civilization? And I'm also going to skip some other stuff. Like, Curiosity discovered some organic molecules in some mudstone. When I say organic, that's the chemistry definition of organic, which does not mean made by life. It means part of the large family of carbon-centered chemistry. We've seen weird spikes in methane on the surface of Mars that turned out to be maybe not as weird as we thought. There's also seasonal recurring lines of like dark stripes, which seems like they could kind of be considered flowing water on the surface of Mars. And also, a huge amount of planetary science just proving that at one point Mars had a bunch of water running over it. Like, we know that now. We didn't know that when I was a kid. But for the sake of time, we're going to skip up to 2024. Perseverance rover drilled into a rock in Jezero crater, which is part of a dried up river delta that once fed into a Martian lake. This rock looked exciting if you're the kind of person who can get excited by Martian rocks, which I am. So first thing to know, this rock was formed in a river delta by mud. So there was mud there, and then over time, you know, the water left and the rock was compressed, and now you have what's there now. And the reason this mudstone was particularly exciting is these spots that are all over it. And outside of the spot, you have one colored rock. Inside this spot, you have a different colored rock, and on the edge of the spot, you have a different color to it. So what is happening, definitely, is that something happens in the middle of that, and it changes the rock as it spreads out. And so that on its own is like, that's something you should look at more. And so they did, and Perseverance is a much more complex and capable laboratory than the Viking landers ever could dream of being. And they can look and check specifically what kinds of molecules are in there. And they can see first, there's some organic compounds, which again, doesn't mean life, it means carbon-based. But they also found these two kinds of molecules. So there's vivianite, which is iron phosphate, and there's gregite. I think it's pronounced gregite. It's named after a guy whose last name was Greg, spelled like this. So what this paper is talking about is that in this mudstone, so this like silt and clay that turned into stone, there's iron and sulfur. And in this universe, things that are at a higher energy can release energy and go to the lower energy. It's just like dropping a ball. But these iron and sulfur compounds are like in a stable high energy state. So think of a ball that's like up here, but in a well, so that it's never gonna get out of there unless you like bump it out. Like, you gotta shake it up. Iron, its energy level is up here, and it's not going anywhere, right? Even if there's quite a bit of heat, it's not going anywhere. There's no way to get the iron out until there's like a lot of heat, and then the iron goes flying out. And it's not in there anymore, and it falls down. And that can absolutely happen without biology. But you need heat. And heat is the thing that's shaking the cup. It's getting the iron out and then to a lower energy state. And what has happened inside of these spots is that the sulfur and the iron seem to have spontaneously jumped out of the cup. So you have to ask, how did they get out of the cup? How did they get out of their very stable but higher energy configuration to a second stable lower energy spot? They check and they look, and everything else about this environment says this was not a hot place. The chemicals also didn't like form somewhere else and then get deposited there. These chemicals formed where they are. I mean, you can tell that just by looking at it. They're not mixed in. It's like something happened and it spread out. Now the thing is, when the iron falls out, that creates energy, and that energy can be released in a number of different ways, but it can also be captured by life. So here on Earth, there are microbes that do this. They take compounds that are in high energy but stable states, and they say, okay, well, I'm going to use the chemistry of life to get you out of that state, and then I'm going to use that energy as it falls down to the lower energy state to power my metabolism. And this happens on Earth with both iron and with sulfur, which is what we're seeing here. So like Geobacter is a bacteria on Earth that captures iron reduction to power its metabolism. There are also on Earth sulfate reducing bacteria that capture that happening with sulfur. This is called chemosynthesis. So it's like photosynthesis, where you are like...
Yeah, there are like some bacteria and shit living around geysers that are underwater. Because the water there is like very rich in minerals. It's like coming from the, you know, the crust of the earth.
Running your metabolism instead of with light, you're running your metabolism with chemistry. And so the question is, did we definitely find these compounds? And it seems like we did. Are there corresponding organic molecules around that could have been part of a living system? And yes, there is. Could it have been super hot and the chemistry have happened that way? And the answer is definitely not. Or could this chemistry have happened some other third way that we don't know about? And the answer to that is maybe. So that, to me, as a person who, you know, knows the basics of biochemistry, is super exciting. Like, that's all right. Okay. We should look into that. But look, again, the chemistry of Mars is different from the chemistry of Earth. We don't know what it was like back then. But if we were on Mars, or if these rocks were on Earth, we could totally figure this out. Like, this would actually not be that hard to figure out whether or not this was done through regular old chemistry or biological chemistry. So now we're going to move on into the near future. What would we do to these specific rocks to figure out if there was life? So life on Earth makes like 4 big macromolecules. You got DNA, you got proteins, you got carbohydrates, and you got lipids. DNA, not probably going to be super helpful when we're talking billions of years ago. It breaks down super fast. Proteins fall apart pretty fast, though there's a chance that some of the individual amino acids would get stuck in amongst the mudstone, and we can find them, but amino acids can be created through non-biological processes, so we would have to find that there was like a preference toward a handedness to those amino acids. So amino acids can be sort of like left-handed or right-handed. You see how like my hands don't line up perfectly, even though they're mirror images of each other. So there can be mirror images of amino acids, and life only uses one of those mirror images on Earth. And probably that would be the case everywhere. It wouldn't be the same mirror that would be used. They would either choose left hand or right hand, but they wouldn't do both. And so if there wasn't a 50-50 mix of the handedness of the amino acids, that would be basically a smoking gun. I would say that was life. But over that vast quantity of time, the handedness might actually be lost. So this might not be the smoking gun. Next, lipids, they're tougher. And so we could probably find lipids. This would not quite be a smoking gun. Now, if it was certain like sizes and this is like cell membrane stuff, then that would be like, whoa, okay, that's a pretty big hint. But lipids can actually stand up for a long time. We have found lipid remnants in rocks 2 billion years old on Earth. But here's the big one, isotopes. So carbon specifically occurs naturally as carbon-12, which has 6 protons and 6 neutrons, but also carbon-13 and other isotopes. And carbon-13 has 6 protons and 7 neutrons. Life prefers lighter isotopes. So if you took all the carbon out of my body, I would be dead, and so I wouldn't be able to talk to you anymore, but you have a pile of carbon. And then if you took all the carbon out of a bunch of pencils, you laid them next to each other, there would be more carbon-13 in the same number of pencil atoms than there would be in my atoms. We know this. We've known this forever. It's an extraordinarily useful quirk of physics. Life prefers the lighter isotopes, and so if you want to figure out if something was living or not, you can look at the carbon ratios, and you could determine for sure whether it was alive. So this is probably going to be how we do it, and it's not complicated science. I mean, it's getting the stuff to Earth, very complicated. The science itself, of course, complicated, but not something that's new or that would be difficult to do. And this is the kind of evidence that Earth's earliest life rests on. We do isotopic fractionations of stuff that's frozen into 3.5 billion year old rocks in Australia and South Africa, which are like the oldest rocks on Earth, because Earth, this is going to become important later, is very geologically active, constantly recycling rocks. So we don't have like many of the rocks from the early Earth to work with. Mars, not like that. But to get the samples back from Mars, you have to do the sample return mission. And this Perseverance was designed for this. It can package up samples from Mars. It's been doing this. It like leaves them behind, and they're there to get picked up and brought back by a robot, not by a person. And that mission has not launched yet. It's been somewhat fraught in getting it done, in getting it funded, it's a complicated mission. And at the moment, it's a little bit in limbo. Definitely not going to happen in the 2020s. It will hopefully happen in the 2030s, which will be great because I will theoretically still be alive then. But again, this is what science looks like. So we have all
Good
these
point.
little puzzle pieces. We're getting more and more puzzle pieces all the time, but only when we actually do the science. They don't just come in. We actually have to do hard, clever science. And those clues pile up, and some fall apart under scrutiny. Others are scrutinized and they continue to gain strength as they don't fall apart under scrutiny. If the leopard spots in this rock are really biosignatures, Mars was inhabited by life. But here's the thing, the moment you accept that, you don't get closure, you get new mysteries. For example, did life start independently on Mars, writing
there
its
is no
own
closure
version of
ever.
biochemistry as we did ours? And that would, for me, be the most
You will forever only get more questions.
exciting version of this story. That would basically mean life is extraordinarily common in the universe. It wouldn't necessarily mean complex life is common in the universe, but it would mean life is common in the universe. If it happened twice in one solar system on two neighboring planets, it happens all the time. And we could probably tell if it did its own version of biochemistry, or in the other direction, if there was one single origin that ended up on two different planets, which would also be very interesting and important. So we know that planets are swapping parts through impact ejecta. We know that some things can survive in space for fairly long periods of time. So it might be that life started on Earth and then was transported to Mars, or it might be that life started on Mars and was transported to Earth, or it might be that life started somewhere else and was transported to both places. But which that would be extra wild, and also I don't think there'd be any way to tell the difference between any of those circumstances. But maybe, but also, if there was life on Mars, this opens up something I don't think people talk about that much. The earliest evidence we have of life on Earth is about 3.5 billion years old, but that's not because it probably was the oldest life, just because that's the oldest rocks we have. If there's a definite biosignature on Mars, that would, one, prove that we are not the only planet with life on it, but it might also give us access to the earliest evolutionary steps that has already been erased by Earth. So we don't have a way of looking back in the past that far. Living chemistry of Mars would allow us to have access, potentially, to information that would help us understand how chemistry became biology, which is one of the very biggest questions. And finally, if we're really talking about the future of life on Mars, the most exciting, maybe even unsettling question is if Mars hosted life for a long period of time, is it still there? We know that Mars has heat inside of it still. Like the most recent volcanic eruption on Mars was not billions of years ago. It was millions or even maybe less than that of years ago. So we know there's still heat in there. We know that there was once water. We know that we are pretty sure that there is still subsurface water. If that subsurface water is near something warm and there was once life on Mars, then that life, it seems entirely possible, especially given what we know about sort of deep down life on Earth, that there would still be living microbes in, if not on, Mars. And that would allow us to observe it directly, which would be, I don't know, like that would, oh God, that would be so cool and good. But also, we'd have to make sure that we don't kill it. That would suck. If we killed the life on Mars, it's one thing to extinct a species. It'd be another thing to extinct a biosphere by introducing all of our advanced stuff that's had a bunch of time to thrive and evolve. Like ultimate invasive species, right? Like moving into Mars and be like, oh, whole planet to go after. Give
Would
me
you like
talking
some
about
smallpox?
microbes being the invasive species here, not humans, though. Ultimate invasive species right here. We can invade anywhere. We're in Antarctica. We went to the moon. So yeah, isotopic fingerprints of
Now we
carbon-based chemistry, lipid backbones maybe locked up in the clay, maybe even, I didn't talk about this, microfossil like type stuff like the Allen Hills meteorite. That's how you sort of build the picture, like one, that there was life, and two, what was that life like? The questions don't stop coming. This is one of those big questions that becomes a trillion questions once it gets answered. If it gets answered in the positive, this one question becomes a trillion questions, and like a trillion very exciting questions. But I think it's important to say that the way that this is happening is reflective of almost every big scientific claim turning into consensus. So you get the early hint, you get contradictory data, you get tantalizing maybes, you get years of debate, and then you finally settle that debate. My favorite example of this is like, when were atoms discovered? Like, was it when Democritus said, I think there are atoms, and I'm gonna have a philosophical debate about that? Was it when Dalton and Lavoisier were like, look, we're doing all this chemistry and it's all happening in whole number increments, and that seems weird. So probably stuff exists in discrete units. like atoms. But maybe it wasn't then. Maybe it was when Einstein was like, I did the math, and Brownian motion only makes sense if things are made up of physical particles. Or was it when Max von Laue did the first X-ray crystal diffraction images, and it was like, look, this doesn't make sense unless there are like balls in there. Science doesn't usually end up with like the Viking lander lands and then it looks out and it's like, hey everybody, look, moss. It's usually like drip, 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 and then eventually the flood is big enough that everybody's like, yeah, that room's wet. Is that a good analogy? It'd be great if one day an alien landed and was like, hello, you're not alone. Take me to your YouTuber. Bring them to me. I want to talk. Usually it's not like that. And so these things that are huge, huge, can feel, when they finally happen, pretty anticlimactic, because there's the debate has been going on for so long that it doesn't happen in one moment. It's just like consensus slowly builds until everybody's like, yeah, put it in the textbook. So like possible biosignature strengthens evidence for habitability. It doesn't sound like the stuff of the front page headlines, but usually like extraordinary achievement doesn't happen all at once because it needs a bunch of evidence and a bunch of interrogation. It needs to make its data available for other scientists to challenge. That challenging takes a bunch of time. If like a good challenge comes along, you have to figure out how to answer that challenge, or you have to realize that you can't answer it, or you have to accept that probably you were wrong. The body of scientific knowledge is the stuff that has survived contact with intense skepticism, and that takes time. And it makes me realize that like if we find life outside of Earth in my life, which is totally possible, it'll not be that big of a news story, which is kind of hard for me. Like in a very real way, it would be the biggest story ever, but because it's probably going to be more of a slow tipping of the scales toward that seems like the most likely explanation, it probably won't be that big of a story. Just like you may very well have gone through this week, though admittedly, and for good reason, there was competition for that news space. But like you may have gone through this without knowing one of the most important discoveries in the history of planetary geology. And like that the scale is starting to get tipped in the direction of like there was once life on Mars. Now I'm not saying that it couldn't tip back the other way, but like it's starting, as a person who like cares about this and has looked at it for a long time, it feels like it's going one way now. Many times in the past, Mars has raised our hopes, and skepticism and evidence have cut those hopes down a little bit. And I will be honest, I want there to be life on Mars. So just like that bias is there. But every time we get that dynamic of like new evidence and then like, ooh, well, what about this? We inch forward toward the truth. And if we do answer that question that has been in our minds since we figured out that there were other planets, that question, once we can use the laboratories of Earth, might be fairly easily answered. Now, getting the vials home to Earth, that's not going to be easy. Yeah, but once they're here, we know how to do the analysis. In conclusion, John, everything we know we figured out. This is a very big question. It's one of the biggest questions. But we are always, as humans, but it feels like especially now, in a time where there are a lot of big questions that are unanswerable. Not like, I don't know how we'll answer that, or I don't, like, when will we get to the answer? It might be a long time, but like, just unanswerable. Because humanity, groups, individuals, the whole thing, it's just too big and complex. And I'm feeling that a lot right now. But in this case, there's like a really big question, and there is a potential path to certainty about a big question, and then moving to the next set of questions. And that, I think, understandably, I find comforting. John, I'll see you on Tuesday.
That would be nice. All right. I'm gonna end it. Yeah, it will be just another Tuesday. Yep. Alright. Let's see.